Sometimes, when I watch a really good movie, I find myself pondering what it was about it that made it so special to me. Was it the characters, the writing, the direction? Perhaps it might have been finely choreographed action scenes, or the movie's overall style. Maybe it was simply that the movie came highly recommended, either by critical reviews or by someone close to us. Whatever the reasons may be, if the special ingredients are there, they can result in an incredible, unforgettable movie experience, one that keeps viewers coming back to it year after year, uncovering new layers of excellence each time they watch it. These are the bona fide classics in my book. Enter Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. That movie came out of nowhere and surprised me with an immensely heartfelt, coming-of-age story, featuring a young Spider-Man who really struggled with expectations of becoming the hero and the person he wasn't sure he wanted to be. It quickly became one of my favorite Spider-Man movies, tied neck to neck with the first two Sam Raimi classics. I've rewatched it more times than I can count, and each time I do, I appreciate it more. I love its music, its refreshingly unique animation style, its likable, relatable protagonist, and its various support characters. Its action and humor are a highlight for me as well, along with all the little Easter eggs and gags that are sprinkled throughout the movie, some of which are so quick and minute you have to pause the movie to even notice them. All these little details add up to create one of my favorite movies, and I could go on for ages because the list of reasons why I recommend it is just that long. So for me, this sequel had a lot to live up to, and I was extremely happy to find that Across the Spider-Verse is just as, and at times, even better than the original. Even though I still personally prefer Into the Spider-Verse, all the reasons why the first movie rocked still apply to the sequel, and in some areas, they're even improved. The art style is still gorgeous, and continues changing depending on where the characters are from or what's happening on screen. It's always incredible to look at, and gives even more variety to the movie. This expanded art style is helped by the larger focus given to supporting characters. There are even more complex relationships, dramas, and dilemmas for them to wrestle with. It all results in a larger feeling, wider spanning film, which suits the title of the film nicely. Action in animation has always been a fascinating thing for me. Through it, it's possible to showcase the most fantastic scenarios and action scenes, and with the right story and right art style, great stories are successfully brought to life. The action in Across the Spider-Verse is great, with things happening so quick that it's hard to initially parse all the details. Those little details can be noticed in subsequent watch-throughs, again with some pausing needed in order to take it all in. I never imagined that I would grow to love the Spider-Verse movie's slow down, missing frames kind of animation style, but I really have. It makes it stand out in a world where most other animation styles are clean, pixel-looking copies of each other. It genuinely gives the movies their own unique look. The same love and care for details continues and is expanded as well, with more jokes, references, and little editor's notes. Little things that wouldn't even be noticed by many of the movie's viewers, like sound effects on screen changing depending on the location. It's impressive and shows the love and care that was put into each frame and how far they wanted to go to make the movie special. Even though I think the movie sometimes buckles under the weight of all the multiverse stuff, like so many other superhero movies do nowadays, Across the Spider-Verse manages to make its multiverse fun, varied, and most importantly, meaningful. It doesn't end up feeling like a gimmick, but instead a main part of the story and its characters, and chief among them is Miles Morales. Miles feels like his own character. He's a different flavor of Spider-Man, with a different style, attitude, and outlook on life. He has his own unique, relatable flaws, complex relationships, and ways of dealing with problems. He doesn't really want to be Spider-Man, it's just something that was thrust on him without much of a choice. And even though he has to learn how to be Spider-Man, like all the other Spider-Men we've seen so far, it seems to be that much harder for Miles. He struggles to be a basic level Spider-Man, which is so much harder for him to stomach when everyone around him seems to have things all figured out, and expects him to be the same. I like how the Spider-Verse movies really get across the reality that in order to be really good at something, even being Spider-Man, it takes time, persistence, tons of mistakes, and along the way, lots of doubt. I'm also happy that Across the Spider-Verse gives us interesting villains once again, ones who I love to hate even more than the firsts. There's more variety, humor, and tension thrown in, and that helps raise the movie's stakes considerably. So, all in all, I couldn't recommend this movie enough. It's great, and so is the first one, and I highly recommend checking them both out if you already haven't. So that's it from me. Thanks for watching, goodbye, and never stop dreaming.